Hey there, everybody. My name is Julian. I'm tuning in here. This is our first Unifi Talks. We are talking here with Drew about his application, BikeChain.App. And we are just going to be taking a little bit of time here today to dive a little bit deeper into some of the things that they're working on, discuss some of the problems that are, kind of out there in the space today, where things are going, just kind of more or less general conversation on state of everything. So welcome, Drew.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks so much, Julian. Thanks so much, Unifi Protocol, for having me here. It's an honor to be part of the first segment of this series of yours. We are the BikeChain.App, the world's first 100% self-governing decentralized mobile ride-sharing DApp. We are built on Telos network, the Telos blockchain. Go ahead and check them out. Yeah, thanks so much for having us here. It's a pleasure.
Cool. Yeah, so I suppose we should just kind of dive in here. Typically people start out with a problem that they're trying to solve. I know we kind of hopped in when we first launched ourselves. We're very focused on trying to solve a lot of some of the troubles that we see of general people in the blockchain space. We're kind of taking a look at the issues that exist within DeFi, within staking, and basically trying to simplify those as much as we can to build a source for the community to go to basically interact with. So I guess we can kind of start there on your side.
Sure.
What are you guys seeing? What are you guys looking to solve?
Sure. So we believe ride sharing should definitely meet the industry of blockchain technology and DeFi, if you will. We are creating a new sector that is called transportation fi. We see that there's a big gap in demand for mobility as well as self-sovereign banking in many developing countries, including where we are located here in South Florida, Miami. Uh, we see that we can definitely help a lot of people achieve their financial goals as well as, most importantly, their mobility goals, finding incentivized and or subsidized transportation very accessible to them. That's what we plan to do, is really bridge that gap for a lot of people.
Very cool. So, just out of curiosity, what makes you feel like blockchain is like the right approach for that solution? Like, how does that kind of fit in?
Yeah, blockchain works really well with what we're trying to do here. We want to create a decentralized platform that is user governed, user based, and user run. We want it's going to be a tokenized platform with our bike token. So we basically plan to help others using this blockchain technology to hold full accountability and full record, basically tracking using NFT, you know, concepts such as NFTing their bicycles onto the blockchain in order for it to be used by the network. We plan for our token to be used as a DAO as well, where a lot of certain settlements can be, decided on the blockchain, again, by the network itself. This is a concept that's like super new, and it does have a lot of different moving factors to it. However, if executed correctly, which we believe we can do, um, we will be able to show you guys a lot of those conventional ways that blockchain can be applied to many other different industries. We'll be able to show you guys what we can do with ride sharing.
Cool. Yeah, I think that we kind of saw a pretty wild transition here. I know New York has kind of had their own thing going here in LA, scooters and all that. There was so much back and forth with that kind of push, and I know we have big companies out there like Uber and Lyft are basically trying to corner the market. What's the approach that you guys are trying to take here?
Right. So we're basically taking the complete opposite approach. That's our easiest selling point, is just having a bunch of users that are already familiar with those existing platforms and looking at all the different points of failures that are found in a centralized entity of those natures, that it really sells itself when people realize that they will have more ability to choose their ride fares, uh, being able to earn passive income by lending out their own forms of transportation and earning crypto rather than what some would consider worthless fiat to be. So there's a lot of we're really doing this in true DeFi spirit, even with a token launch, to get this out in the hands of as many people as possible versus what those companies would do, which are centralized entities holding a lot of power and a lot of shares
Yeah.
in those
I think
companies.
that's kind of the key for me, right? Is when I think I was watching there was like there was a whole conversation about this that was recently had, just talking about kind of definitions of, what is Web3, what is blockchain, and I think that the simplest explanation that I've kind of heard is it's kind of the opportunity for people to basically uh, uh, own the networks that they're publishing
Absolutely,
data on, right? And
exactly.
that's kind of ultimately what it comes down to. So I think there's that creates a lot of opportunity for more traditional businesses to kind of be updated. And I think from your perspective, yeah, this is totally a valid industry that could be updated. Just looking at it from that perspective,
Right.
a lot of companies come in, they put in a lot of control. We've seen a lot of things go right and go wrong. It's
Correct.
obviously good for, like,
Hmm.
things like government practices, making sure that insurance and liability and things like that. Those are all
Right.
good. It's good to have a nice centralized company to basically drive that through. But I think that we've never really seen a community push for it together around
Right.
a single concept. And I think that's kind of what's interesting, right? Is if you were to take
Absolutely.
the concept of um, transportation, and you combine that with blockchain in some way, if you do find a way to incentivize people to participate within that application, what that can do is it can open up localities to kind of participate. Yeah, within a DAO is great, but if you have a personal financial liability in a or a financial incentive, I should say,
Right.
in a Web3 network, what that does is that incentivizes you to participate more in your local government, like in
Exactly.
actual local government. And I think that's so interesting, right? Is I think that today one of the issues that we see, in typical politics, are people are very opinionated, um, but they don't tend to participate. So
Generally not.
I see a company coming in and and trying to disrupt a more well-known space where typically you have another larger entity that's going to come in and lobby for these things. I think
Right.
Uber, Lyft, Line, these guys they were all lobbying like crazy in Santa Monica to get scooters on the boardwalk and all this stuff. And of course, there's going to be a fight. Of course, there's going to be a pushback. Of course, there's going to be money involved and people trying to buy off XYZ and do all these crazy things. What's going to happen to
Hmm.
roadways and whatnot? But if you suddenly flip that script and say, hey, listen, we're going to issue a token to everybody within the locality here,
Yep.
you're going to make money off of this thing. Now, if you want it to happen, you're financially incentivized for it to
To use
happen
it.
in the way that you want it to. So get out there and participate in your local government, or else it's not going to happen. And then you
Hmm.
get a much more grassroots, maybe a more natural approach. I could see there being issues with maybe localities spilling over, or large entities buying tokens, but that's also incentivizing. So there are some
Right.
interesting things there to consider.
Yeah.
I
Again, a
think
lot of. Go ahead.
I think that's cool. No, going ahead. I think that's a cool touch point. Like where uh, companies now can directly touch, the centralized non-autonomous governments of today. I think that's very interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah. there's a lot of moving factors, like you just mentioned. There's a plenty more, uh, and it's really interesting just to see where this will all go. Um, it should spread like wildfire. This is a very simple idea, and I think that's why it works so well. Bringing something as simple as ride sharing and bicycles, which we love already because we're fans of bicycles, just riding bikes. I ride my bike every morning just because it feels good. So I'm already a user of this network in my mind. So it, there we're just excited. We're really excited to see where this all takes us.
Yeah, I mean it's super cool. I think it's very cool to see um, these applications take off. I think that it's important that applications are built on blockchain because it for me there is the whole decentralized nature of it, but for me it's like a whole education on like what could be, right? You take
Absolutely.
a you take a look back at some of like the founding documentation of like Bitcoin. That's exactly what they're
Exactly.
talking about here, right? Is like,
Mhm.
like what this could be is so much more interesting than what it is today. And when you
100%.
talk about it in that way, um, just doing an application, a business like this can expose people to, you know what, maybe I should be more active in XYZ. You know what, maybe I should
Right.
have an opinion about ABC. And I think that's what's so interesting there. And then, you tie in finances and now you're incentivizing those kind of activities. And I think that's very interesting. It's a way to further incentivize participation by people.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I
We go ahead.
go ahead.
We plan to basically get those that are cyclists into DeFi, and the other way around, those that are into DeFi, into cycling. We want to promote healthy, positive concepts,
Mhm.
carbon negative concepts that help the environment. We have definitely would recommend anyone to check out our website. It features our light paper and roadmap that's available for download, so you can check it out and see what we have planned out. Um, but yeah, that's actually a lot of people bring up a lot of different other points about what might be some big hurdles. However, actually, I think our biggest hurdle, if you will, or actually our biggest opportunity, if you look at it the right way, is adoption and education and teaching regular people that like to ride their bicycles and stay fit all about how they can be earning from that, and also finding self sovereignty in their finances.
Yeah, I mean it's we were just talking about this just beforehand is you take a look at starting a business and you take a look at like the one I just now used was you take a look at a pharma company. Somebody starts a new pharmaceutical company, it's not that hard to take notice because that doesn't happen very often when there are
Right.
new ones out there. That's like 1 in 500.
Hmm.
But then you come into somewhere like blockchain, and the barrier to entry has been dropped down a lot. And I
A
think that's
lot.
actually a huge boon because the ones that kind of start to take notice have more of a relevance within that ecosystem. There's a lot more competition, I think, just because so many do start up. So I did want to ask, like, how do you overcome that gap? Like, how are you guys setting up your business? Like, what are your goals? Like, how are you going to kind of continue to scale?
So we definitely believe in first movers advantage. First movers advantage is super important. Just being the first with all these great ideas and actually crystallizing them into form sooner than later. Speed is the name of the game in this industry. Everyone knows that a day in blockchain, a day in crypto feels like months. It's so much happens so quickly. It is technology, so I believe it's. I don't want to quote it wrong. Is it Moore's law? The fact that
Uh, that's every 18 months, the processors on a chip will double and the
yeah,
price will halve.
have.
Yeah.
So something of that nature, not necessarily uh applicable, but what I'm trying to say is this this technology is stackable, if you will, and a lot of things can be built upon other things that were just built yesterday. So things are moving fast. But we really don't feel like you can compete when you can't compare. We're the first to do this. And we really take pride in our creativity. We already have a lot of things that aren't even on the blockchain yet, like a lot of features about BikeChain.App that you can already utilize, such as our bike radio, which we do use centralized API widget services, like integration methods. But we do plan to decentralize all these concepts eventually. It's all about just getting them out there, and building and expanding on them, and proving that you can build when you say you will, and as good as you say you will.
Cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's probably a good way to look at it. It's I was talking to some of our marketing guys about this last week, and there's definitely two sides to it, right? You have to take a look at, like, what is marketing in this space. And I think that a lot that's occurred to me is, marketing, unfortunately, in this space does kind of falls naturally into token value marketing. And I feel like that's so unfortunate, because you take a look at the technology space, and that's more action. That's more attributable actions, like what have you done marketing?
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to make money type of marketing? And what happens is, when people earn off of the marketing that you have, that kind of flips things, right? And what it does is it drives people not to use your ecosystem, but to participate within that type of marketing. And I feel like that can be a very tricky hole to get out of. And so getting in the right way is extremely important.
Super important.
In this space. And,
Right.
and the way you set your foundation is extremely important. So people come in and know what your fundamentals are. They know how you operate, why you operate that way. I think that's far more important than
shiny things
typical
right.
crypto marketing.
Don't get me wrong; those things are super important as well, and we're
Yeah.
super confident in our ability to market this very well. But again, I've been around since 2017, and I've seen, and I know there's people that have been here way earlier, so they know they've seen their fair share of this and that sounded really nice, but never came to be, and that's just not happening with this. I'll make sure to the last of my days that this is a very successful project.
People forget 2017 is it's a
Not
long time. Ethereum started in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And that's considered like old guard foundational structural piece of blockchain tech.
But
at least in my opinion.
Without that infrastructure, Vitalik Buterin's a really huge inspiration. I mean, when I was first learning about smart contracts and their capabilities, that's really another huge inspiration. I mean, I love this stuff. I'm very passionate about this industry. So, and I figure let's have a go at it. Like you said, the barrier to entry is low, and a lot of great ideas are coming out and about. Some of them will make it, some of them won't. Actually, the majority of them won't. But the gems that will certainly will make it big.
Cool, man. Yeah. Okay, great. I don't think that I have very much else that I really need to dive into here. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Just want to say thanks again so much, Unifi Protocol. Thanks so much, Julian. Thanks so much, Keith. You guys are awesome. Been following you guys for some time. Got some associates of mine that are also big fans of the Unifi Protocol. We'll definitely talk some more, and I definitely plan to do more of these cool conversations with you guys.
Awesome.
And also, feel free to check us out. It's the BikeChain app. That's BikeChain.App. We're on Twitter. We're on Discord. We're on Telegram. And it was a pleasure. Again, thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Of course. Have a good one. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.